Thanks for clicking on this video. I'm going to be speed painting the Temple Fusion from Steven Universe, and from what I understand, her name is Obsidian. Just a little about the composition right here. I was just really interested in having her be like this big, huge figure towering over almost everything, and I had her standing on the temple itself. In the beginning, when I was sketching everything out on paper before I was on the computer, like I just had it like it's before they've even come to Beach City, before anything like that. They just fused, and like I was inspired by the historical friction episode with Jamie and all that, and I felt like that happened before they were even established here. But I mean, if I just had her leaning on this mountain, you can't really get one size reference. Like, it could be just like this little bump in the ground. Like, you don't even know really how big it is. So I had like some colors that were already on the screen, and those are from my test sketch. I think the file is up there already. It was like a test fusion. And I had sketched out the pose and the temple and everything and all the colors just to test it out. And I just kind of skipped this messy sketch, the inking, and then the rough colors. I kind of skipped that more because, I mean, it's already 25 minutes long. You don't really need to see much of that. It's really messy and rough. And what I'm doing right now, of course, I'm just painting the temple itself, and yeah, I time-lapsed that. What I was trying to do here, I was trying to imagine it kind of like, how I was thinking of it was kind of like clay, like carving out everything. I mean, it is kind of clay colors anyway, but that's what I would imagine when I was painting this. Especially with the hair, I was like, okay, what are the forms here? What are they how are they turning? What do they look like? But I still have a lot of trouble with that. I tried, because I was looking at, originally I was going to make the temple itself have her outfit like that she's wearing right now, but as I looked at more reference images of the temple, she really didn't have any outfit, really just some suggestions. It let me, actually theorize on what her outfit would look like. A lot of the outfits I was seeing online were just kind of like this plain, like cloth going down, kind of like what I have, but I also thought that the top part, how I render it out in the end, is like, I really like how it looks. The part underneath her bra, if you could call it that, it's more of a clear thing, like a pearl type fabric, where it's just colored and clear, like almost unicorn skin, if you know what that looks like. And yeah, I just kind of skipped some more. It was a lot of footage, and I just tried to really turn it down. The unedited footage was around 15 hours, and after I edited down and sped it up, it was like an hour and a half, and I still managed to get this down this much. And I was like, no way is anybody gonna watch an hour of me painting? So I just kind of sped it up even more. A little bit about what I'm doing right now, of course, is I'm just trying to render it out. So what I've started doing was So I had all the base colors, and I started painting over the line art. I didn't get rid of the line art. And I'm not confident enough to completely start just working on the on a second layer, or on top of the same layer. I'm definitely not confident enough for that. So I just made a new layer and started carving out everything from there. I had a lot of trouble with the cloth in front. I probably went back and edited that. I probably all the editing that I took, like the shortening of the clip I took out, was mostly from the cloth, because it took so long to do. I mean, I never do clothes, so considering that, I think I didn't do that bad, and just add in some effects with the sunbeams. Her her arms, they all have, so there's 4 of them right on each side, and they all have kind of like this, I don't know, her gloves. I was trying to go after the gloves and then just the whole rose idea and mix that together. Yeah, I'm just rendering out the gem right now. Her gem. I had trouble doing the gem underneath, so I just made a new layer, and then what I did was I kind of did a circle and locked the layer, and then did all the colors on top. I merged the layer down, painted over it, and I tried to do the hands. Hands are so hard for me still. Like these hands are okay, but they're not that good. They're really, I think one of my biggest things that I did bad here was the hands. Her hands and her head. I'm really bad with faces and hands, and so I just tried to, after, like, it's been like 5 days and I'm still editing, but I've been doing a lot of head studies and like shape. But yeah, I get started on these gloves, but I don't do more than this until I'm done. I really don't. I just render out the ends of the gloves, and that's it. Yeah, and here I'm just copying back the rose, like what's on her shield. You know, her shield has a circular thorny pattern, and I was just kind of going off of that. Oh, and here I just skipped the outlining. I just outlined the entire structure in blue, and I'm just rendering it out right now. And I just kind of, I do a lot of skipping around. I skip around, and most of the time that I'm recording, I find that I have like really common periods of just not really doing anything and taking breaks and things like that. But yeah, in the end, I really like how the cloth under her bra is rendered on the side that I'm rendering out right now. That's the cloth I really liked. It was just so appealing to me. I didn't replicate it nicely enough on the other side. Yeah, and I think that's about all that I do with the cloth under her bra. I don't know what to call it. Her top. Just trying to blend. See, I did a lot of things that I don't do in this painting. Yeah, and you can just see the reference colors right there that I picked from my test. And I changed that line right there. I really liked how this looked at this stage. However, I noticed that the contrast wasn't, like, it just didn't translate. It was too light. It was too light up there, and so I had to make it darker in the future, but I liked how it looked. It looked cottony, maybe. I don't know if I fixed that part right now, though, or not. Oh, yep, right there, I just fixed it. Wow, this, just having it sped up so much. I haven't watched it fully through yet. I keep just watching chunks of it, because it's pretty long to watch the whole thing every single time that I edit it. This just felt so far into the process, but it's just like not even halfway. Not even halfway through. Oh, and I just did that same step. I just kind of layered it with the blue, and I started rendering it. I just skipped some of that because you already saw me do practically the same thing on the other side, and I just kind of skipped to the part where I had the most trouble was the edge. I was just kind of like wondering how do I do this, and so I just kind of had pink kind of intensify throughout the whole thing, but also because it was on the blue sky now, it had to have some of the blue tones in it. But then it was layering on top of each other. Oh, and for these feet, this is about as much as you'll see me rendering them. I did more, but I felt like while I was recording this, I was like, this is probably going to be really uncomfortable seeing just somebody render out feet like toes. Toes in such a, I feel like it's a weird thing to watch. So I think I kind of skip that. Yeah, I went back and rendered more of the toes, but I cut that out. I was like, no, we don't really need to see me render toes. Hands are okay. Hands are another story, but toes, no thanks. Especially since she has 8 hands, so I just kind of skip. I just skip around. That's my painting style. I don't finish one thing. I kind of just go all around. You know, I get tired of one thing, I go somewhere else, and then I work on that a little bit, and then I go somewhere else again. That's why I spent so long on the cloth down her front, because it just took so long to render. And here I'm going back in and adding some highlights on the hands, because they're more in the light than anything, and just adding some extra light on her knee. Tried to make this not realistic per se, but more the light would make sense maybe. I feel like still my paintings, the arms are always so flat for me, and I don't know, like I get it's because of the anatomy. Like I know the basic structures, but I just can't get myself to render them. I kind of skipped this hand here because I wasn't doing anything right. I was just playing around and decided to end it on that. Like it was just a waste of time to watch that. And here I'm adding her arm. So yeah, the fingertips on the bottom arm get the rose pattern. The wrist gets the rose pattern. And then here I kind of mess it up, but the pattern is supposed to go up the forearm and not down, because that's what the top 2 arms, the rose like thorn pattern goes down. Oh, I'm so bad at hands. I hate that hand. I just outlined it just to get the basic forms. I'm not that good at those hands. Hands, and I just kind of skip it out. They're really blocky. They're really boring looking. Like it looks. Doesn't look that good. But in a finished painting, it's a little less obvious. yeah, here's the moment I realized that I messed it up, and so I fade it from the pinky color. After I edited all the footage together, I realized that on the top arm, I didn't do the coils. The top arm on her left, I didn't do the coils on there. And so, anywhere I'm gonna post it, I'm gonna edit that. She needs that as part of her design that I made. Yeah, and here I'm starting to do the face. Don't really like it because I kind of suck at faces and hands. Hands and faces, those are what I suck at a lot. And that's kind of crucial because those are the most expressive parts of your body. Something that you would argue. I argue that your face and your arms and your hands are the most expressive parts of your body. I mean, that's your eyes especially are the part that most people look at. I mean, they're like the part that everyone really focuses on. Like, it's basically what we use to identify each other. Doing the mask, trying to get it darker because it's still too light for where it is. I do some makeup on her later. I'm not too good at makeup myself, and it shows on the computer too. Yeah, I gave her some red eyeshadow and like a white lid thing. And I just fixed it because it looked too out of place to me, and I used the same color as the mask. And I tried putting glitter on there because I wanted it to be glittery, but it, of course, doesn't show up in the actual, like, big part of the painting. But if you zoom in, it's there. If you zoom in, there's a lot of things. That's what I'm saying. If you zoom in, there's a lot of things. Yeah, I decided to give her this, like, glossy-eyed look. I posted this to Reddit before I finished editing this video and there are complaints about the mask. They were like, I wish the mask was actually a face, and I was originally gonna have the mask as a face, but I kind of like I edited it out, but I kept trying to put pupils on the mask, and it just looked really bad. Just looked really creepy. And so I was like, okay, I guess she has a mask instead of a face. Yeah, I have a lot to work on. But I don't think this is that bad. I think for where I'm at, this is alright. Again, here I fixed the values on that again. I don't think it's that intense as I remember it. Like, I remember this being like, oh, I'm ruining it, and it actually looks like velvet to me, maybe? At least that's how I see it. I see that part as velvety. Like a velvety texture. Yeah, I was about to give Amethyst Gem the same cut as Roses, but it's not the same cut. The 6 sides instead of the 5. I'm just starting to do the hair. Oh, I was not looking forward to doing the hair at all. At all. I was so unexcited for the hair. The hair was like my hair and the weapons. The hair and the weapons I really didn't want to do. Actually, those are the things I can't do. Hair, faces, and hands. So those are the those are kind of what everyone has, but you know, it's okay. I just have to keep trying and it'll eventually work out, right? That's the mentality I should be thinking of. And while I was doing the hair, I have some posters by Gawki, Gawki. I'll have like links to her stuff in my description. I was just kind of looking at her art that's in my room to kind of do the hair. She has this almost like it looks almost like each hair is defined, but you know it's not, because not every hair has like a line going through it. It's just that the way she colored it and the way that she drew it, that it makes it look so detailed and nice and like matte and things like that. And I was just trying to replicate that. Of course, I'm like a dollar store version of her. I think the hair turned out nicely. I think it turned out better than I thought it would. Like, I thought it was gonna be just complete crap, but it's actually better than I thought. Of course it can go for some improvements, and I just skipped some. I don't know, it was just getting really long and I wanted to cut some places out. And here I'm just trying to go for that look that she has where it's all kind of like defined, but you know, not each strand is. And I just think that the way I was doing it, it was looking too boxy. Yeah, I darkened more of the hair, and then I just added some more refinement on her neck and her face, because it was too light compared to her face, or compared to her hair. Her face was too light compared to her hair. I added some backlighting to make her hair pop out a little from the background, but also kind of, you know, look like it's in a shadow. So far, I don't think this is going too bad. And I'm definitely glad I darkened her arms with that. I think though, the final version, I'm going to definitely take the criticisms from Reddit, all the things that they said that were, I thought, really helpful. They said to make more of the focus on her face. Some people said that it was fine, that it looked like, you know, she's just this big towering beast and you almost don't notice her until you look up and you're like, wow, she's huge. I wanted it to be more of a render where, you know, the light actually looks like it's how it's supposed to, you know, supposed to look. But I'm thinking I might lighten up the background and darken up her face. Maybe add that rim light onto the bottom of her jaw a little. I don't know. I don't think the light would hit her there, though. You're supposed to give artistic, like, flair, but I don't know if it would hit her there. I'm just a little lost on if I should do that or not. And yeah, here I'm just starting to do Pearl's spear. Oh my god, it took so long to get that looking straight at all. Like, it took so long. Small amount that you saw me fiddling with her spear, that was only like 10% of how much I actually worked on her spear. Doing these in basic colors so that I can lock the layer and then add the details on top, so I don't actually ruin any of the, you know, line art, go out of the lines. It's just like kind of like a cheap tactic to make weak artists stronger, but it works, so why not use it? You can see me going over. That's not really precise or anything, but with the layer locked, it makes everything really easy because I can't get out of the lines, you know, that I already put. And I had some trouble with rendering her spear, but I think I got it in the end, and you can see me going back and forth between my references and the actual, you know, product. They also had some concerns with the fact that the weapons are all kind of in the background, and I don't know if I should change that either. I don't know. I might. Like, again, it's with the lighting. My concern is with the lighting. Does it make sense with the lighting to do that? Also, I had a lot of trouble with Rose's shield. Like, doesn't look like it's going in to me. It doesn't look like a shield. It looks just like kind of like circle. Overall, it was a good exercise to push me to do, you know, do more. And here I'm just doing some light editing. I just kind of pushed everything, pushed it back. And adding some stars and some clouds too. I had actually tried to put clouds in at the beginning, but they were actually garbage, so I deleted them. I think there's like a split second where you could see me flipping between the layers, and there's the cloud layer there. Here's the final shot. So thanks for watching.